Have you been wanting to start something new, but you keep getting stuck in uncertainty?
Today, I will share some thoughts that helped me start and keep going while I felt uncertain. This video is for you who are also considering starting a YouTube channel, or maybe you have just started and you are at the beginning of your journey. Or you who are considering to start something totally new and uncertain thing in your life. Did you know that up to 90% of people procrastinate, especially when it comes to starting something new or uncertain things in their life? And yet, the most common life regret people have is I never even tried. People tend to regret more things that they didn't do than the things that they did, even if they failed. I faced those same kind of thoughts after my mom passed away and after my whole life went upside down. I really started to think what kind of life I want to live and what kind of person I want to be. I started to think those things even more deeply than after my burnout. After that deep dive thinking into my own life, I decided to start to change my career, and soon after I decided to start this YouTube channel also. Start with uncertainty and with small steps. Studies show that you procrastinate because you are trying to avoid unpleasant feelings related with that topic, not because lack of time. However, once you do start, your brain starts to regulate those unpleasant emotions and your hesitation starts to fade as a result of action. I noticed this same thing while I was starting this channel. It took me approximately 2.5 months to get from the idea to the point where I was publishing my first video. And I was working on my first video around 2 to 3 weeks. At the beginning, I felt uncertainty and those unpleasant feelings all the time. That was the one reason I decided not to tell anyone about my channel. Just my husband and children knew, because I was still hesitating and doubting myself so much. And I didn't want to face that kind of situation that other people's doubts or questions would have had me doubt myself or that decision even more. I took tiny steps. I was launching my YouTube channel, coming up with the name, making the banner. Then I started to think about my first video. While I was working on my first video, I kept returning on that process every day, even though I felt uncertainty and doubts. I think the hardest part for me was editing, not because the program was new and it was slow because of that, but it was also so slow because I needed to all the time face the unpleasant emotions that I got when I was seeing myself on the screen, the way I look and sound and some manners and my facial expressions and everything. I felt so awkward. In many evenings I thought, no way, I will never publish this video. But by the time I went to bed, I was thinking, well, tomorrow is new day, let's see. Maybe I feel different tomorrow. And I did. I had new energy to do something related with that project every day. Sometimes I didn't do exactly the same thing that I was doing yesterday. And many times by the evening, I had these same doubts and same awkward feelings. And again, thinking like tomorrow is always a new opportunity. And that's the thing. When you are doing something that you really have fire inside of you, you're eager to do it. You want to continue that process, even if you feel uncertain. I believe the key was that I kept returning to that process even while I felt uncertain and doubting myself. Learn to be okay with being bad at first. You are learning completely new skills. It's okay to be bad at first. Your job is not to be perfect. Just start and keep going and trust that you will improve along the way. Here's the thing, you really don't know what skills and what kind of journey it will be before you reach the level of your dreams. So after you've started, step back and not to concentrate that main goal, because most likely it will take time to get there. Instead of that, concentrate the journey and think how you could measure your progress in different areas. Concentrate on the small steps that you are doing and setting yourself some mini goals, because at the end it's so inspiring and interesting to learn new skills. There is just so many new things you can learn from yourself. For example, my problem is perfectionism. I've noticed that I strive to be on some certain level already where I know that it's not even realistic to be with my current skills. So I just remind myself many times that I'm on my way, I'm just learning, it's okay to be bad, and eventually I will be good and I will be there where I want to be. But at the beginning, it's just not realistic. And for example, I'm concentrating to measure how my English skills is improving, those hard skills, how to edit and all kind of new computer skills, how to speak more fluently and some storytelling skills. And of course, I'm also tracking my YouTube analytics. Just remind yourself, you are learning so much new skills all the time. Give yourself credit for that. You are on your way. You will get to the main goal that you are aiming for. You just need to walk the path before you can arrive. And finally, face your fear and even lean into it. I have one great story about this. I got the biggest motivation to keep going after my first couple videos from my children. My children started swim school at the beginning of summer, and actually they didn't want to go, and I kind of forced them to go. I was trying to explain how important skill it is to learn to swim. For my older child, I was trying to explain that you can even learn to swim during that week. Wouldn't it be great if you could swim after next week? I could see he really didn't believe that would be possible. And I could totally understand why they were so unwilling to go there. The surroundings were new, all the people were new. They didn't go there with some friend, they didn't know anyone there. They were in different groups. And the skill itself, swimming, was something they didn't know how to do. But on the third day out of that 5 days, my son learned how to swim. And he was so excited about that skill. He wanted to go to neighbor and tell there, like, I learned how to swim today. And he said the teacher was saying that they will have one kind of competition, that who would have the courage to face their fear and put their face under the surface, under the water. And those teachers were encouraging them. It can feel scary, but here is adults and it's a safe place to do it, and etc. After he had explained me all the things, I was saying that sometimes really wonderful things happen when you have the courage to face your fears and do something anyways. And at the moment, I realized, like, I really realized how scary it had maybe been for my children to go that swim school, and like how great that result really was. And I was thinking about my own YouTube videos. I was thinking like, if my children can do something this scary and have the courage to do it anyways if they are scared, I should have the courage to publish that new video that I was hesitating. So, face your fears and do something despite the fear. When we are adults, we should push ourselves out of our comfort zone. While we are there, we are getting more and more familiar with the unpleasant feelings. As we grow up, we don't have the parents anymore who are pushing ourselves to do something that we are really afraid of. That's why we should learn to be that person to ourselves. Trust that you will learn the skills and you will eventually reach your goal that you are aiming for. Something really wonderful will emerge from that. If you are standing in front of something new, whether it's YouTube, new career, or new area in your life that you feel uncertain about, I hope this video will remind you that you don't need to be fearless before you start. Start, take the first steps, and keep on going while the fear is there. Studies also show that motivation comes through action, not before we start. Thank you for watching. If you are on your own change journey, feel free to subscribe. I will keep sharing what I learn as I build this channel and my new life and new personality step by step. If you got some new ideas or encouragement during this video, give me a like and see you in the next video. Bye bye.